So this is something that I've really just felt strongly about in recent times, and I just really wanted to talk about it. I know it seems like really random, considering usually the stuff I talk about, but maybe it's not that random anyways. I just wanted to just rant and rave about lore documents for a little bit. I really hope that there's some Roblox developers, or just a future developer, future storyteller, or something, watching this video, because I have news for you, and while this is just my opinion, I think a lot of people will agree with this take. I think we'll just have to see. But me as like a Roblox theorist, someone who is constantly looking at games, who appreciates the lore and story of Roblox games to a probably unhealthy degree, I just have to rant about lore documents for a second. Because, oh my god, I hate lore documents. There is nothing more demoralizing for me making a video on a game than me looking up, trying to figure out the lore of the game, and then realizing that all of the lore is just in a document. And let me preface that what I mean when I say lore document, I don't mean something like a manual of style or something where it's for developer purposes, where like you need to put all the lore and story and game mechanics all in one place for future reference for developers. That's obviously fine. I mean, I'm working on a game, I'm doing that. I'm pretty sure a lot of other developers do the same thing. That's not an issue at all. The issue is when you have a game and one of the purposes of the game is having this story, or having this world, or having characters that you want to tell a story with, and instead of putting any of that into the game, you just put it all in a random lore document for your Discord server of 300 people to read, and then you just have this document just be nothing but words. Just an endless wall of text. That is so annoying as someone who, well, not for a living, but obviously as a big hobby and as my kind of YouTube thing, looking at lore, trying to figure out things, it is really boring and really annoying to have literally nothing in the game, but have 90% of everything just in this lore document. And then, I guess something adjacent to that would be walls of text. I despise walls of text. Like, let me just give some examples, because I'm probably stumbling over my words here. I think it would be great if I gave some examples. 2 videos that I think were really annoying to make: my Tower Blitz video and my Helmet and Dummies vs. Noobs videos. Good God, dude. Those videos were so annoying to make because all of the lore for these games is in either walls of text or in a lore document. And like I just said, those are really annoying to me because they're just so uncreative. Like, instead of putting any work into putting like this lore like in the game outside of just designs, it's just all in the lore document, or all just in this wall of text. Like, I like Tower Blitz because, you know, it has lore, but none of this lore has any bearing on the game outside of the Cold Construct event. Like, none of this even matters. Like, you can't even look at the lore on mobile. Like, and it doesn't matter, because the lore doesn't matter. It's just extra, and it's just there, and it doesn't, like, feel right. Like, it's annoying. It's just walls of text. Yeah, it fits together, like, you're piecing together, like, a story like that, but it's just delivered in such the most annoying way. Kirby. I think what Tower Blitz does, it's very similar to what Kirby does. Kirby games, if you've ever played a Kirby game, where a lot of the lore of Kirby games are in the pause menu screens and stuff like that, where it's completely out of the way. You don't need to play a Kirby game to understand the lore, the lore is just extra, is basically what I'm saying, just like how in Tower Blitz is extra. But the difference is, in Kirby, they are also showing you things in the game, like designs, and then just things characters say, dialogue in these games. And just the way the text is presented in Kirby games is tasteful. It's in the style of like what's happening. Sometimes it's quotation, sometimes stuff like that. In Tower Blitz, it's just so boring and monochrome. And I can already hear people saying, "Oh, you're comparing a real game to just a Roblox game. You gotta realize that there's a dissonance there." It is not that hard to write interesting text. Like, have you played that game Block Tales? That game is really, really funny. It's really good. You don't need to be like a AAA developer to not write boring text. And don't even get me started on Dummies vs. Noobs and Helmet. I love Helmet, I love Dummies vs. Noobs, and I think the lore is very interesting and very well written. But good lord, dude, I wish that the lore was actually in the freaking game instead of just in this lore document. 90% of the lore of these games is in the lore document or on the wiki somewhere. And that is so annoying. Like, it's just there. Like, no like random player is gonna stumble upon it. Like, you have to go out of your way and just read this massive thing of text instead of finding a way to organically weave these things into the game. I know that Helmet, and especially Dummies vs. Noobs, they're not story games. They don't have really much room to play with, like, telling a narrative with characters and all that. But there could be just something. There could be, like, what Pressure does, where, you know the game Pressure, where how each of the entities, they have like a case file, and then the more you die to them, the more is revealed to you in little bits and chunks and pieces, which is really cool. And that's why Pressure gets a pass, because it's walls of text at the end of the day, but the way it's presented to you is tasteful, and it's in bits and pieces and chunks of information. There are ways to splice up lore to make it good and interesting. I think Tower Galactica and Tower Defense X do very good jobs of their lore and storytelling. With Tower Galactica, a lot of the lore is just said casually, and it's not really that big of a deal. There's environmental details, there's cutscenes, the characters get enough time to have their characters kind of planned out, and on top of that, there's the logbook, which gives the walls of text, which are supplementary. Walls of text are fine in games if they're supplementary. They can't be the main source of lore in a game. That's just so annoying. That's such laziness. And then if you're like Tower Defense X, that was so fun finding the lore of that game, because almost none of the lore is just dialogue. There is no lore document. It's piecing together little design details and little details about characters, and just little details about designs, like the eradicators having like human flesh underneath them when you destroy them, and then you go to this other map and you see the eradicator parts, and then you go to this other map and you see there's like these symbols that align with the symbols on the eradicators. That's cool. That's world building that you can put together just playing the game. Like, you don't have to like stop everything and read this stupid lore document to figure out things. I wish more games would do stuff like that. That's environmental storytelling. Stuff like Tower Defense X, Decaying Winter. Well, Decaying Winter has a lore document problem as well, but the ancillary media for Decaying Winter, like Decaying World does, not Decaying World, Demise of Eden and all that other crap, that does some good heavy lifting. But overall, I just wanted to rant and rave about lore documents, because those are stupid, and I hope going into the future, Roblox developers will stop doing that, because I think they realize that the kids that play Roblox games, their attention spans are too short to pay attention to that stuff, and the people who actually do care, that's really boring and really annoying. Make an actual mystery for people to solve. Don't just write everything in this stupid lore document. It's stupid. Anyways, that's really about it.